get you out of your cold.
Listen all day and all night.
Eat the steak and then get a pen.
Oh, gnarly!
Hey everybody, Scott Ennis here. You know me more as the voice of Scooby Doo and Shaggy. Right, guys? Yeah, whatever he said, right, Scoob? Yeah. Like you're listening to our pal, Johnny Rock, right here on Johnny Rock and Roll Radio. Yeah. Hit it, Johnny.
Where are you? We got some work to do now. Scooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now. Come on, Scooby-Doo, I see you. Pretending you got silver. You're the human 'cause I can see the way you shake and shimmer. You know we got a mystery to solve, so Scooby-Doo, be ready for your act. Don't hold back. Scooby-Doo, if you come through, you're gonna have yourself a Scooby snack. That's a fact. Scooby-Doo, here are you. You're ready and you're willing. We can count on you, Scooby-Doo. I know you'll catch that villain.
In 1997, actor, singer, songwriter, author, voiceover artist, radio DJ, MC, producer, and humanitarian, Scott Ennis became the official voice of Hanna-Barbera's famous cartoon dog character Scooby-Doo. He has gone on to become other voices for the Scooby-Doo franchise. In 2001, he became the voice of Norville, Shaggy Rogers, and Scooby-Doo's nephew, Scrappy-Doo. Scott has also professionally voiced other cartoon characters such as Popeye, Snagglepuss, Professor Pat Pending from the Wacky Racers, Shag-A-Long from the Hillbilly Bears, and the world-famous Stone Age characters from the famous town of Bedrock, Flintstone and Barney Rubble. And I'm honored to have him join me right here on Johnny Rock and Roll Radio this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Ennis.
Like Scott Ennis live on the Johnny Rock and Roll Radio Show on whatever he's doing in video. And take one. Oh, man, you guys. Oh, hi, Johnny.
That's gotta hurt.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you right now. Woo, Scooby-Doo.
Scott Ennis, man, what an honor to have you on the Johnny Rock and Roll Radio Show. How are you?
Man, I all I know is I want one of those 2-hour sessions like you had with Tommy Chong.
Yeah, that was something else. That man's got some stories. And we actually had to pick that up and we did another hour the following week. So, and I know you got a ton of stories.
I got high watching it. I mean, it was great.
It was a little smoky.
Woo! I was like, dang, man. I kept wanting to call in and going, hey, man, what's going on? Where you been, man?
That would have been great. Hey, you did that pretty good. You're pretty good at voices.
Hey, I got to tell you, man, I wonder what Great Dane tastes like, man, Did somebody say Great Dane? Oh,
I think Great Dane is kind of a in between Falcon and Bald Eagle.
Now, I got to tell you, when I knew I was going to be on your show, I thought I would bring a few props.
That's good. Speaking of, I didn't know what to wear. What you got?
I got a few things, man. I'm telling you right now. In fact, I'm looking at right now. I'm in my Scooby room, and this is one of my favorite pieces here. I've been wearing this to a lot of my signings. If I can get this up here and show you, it's a Scooby-Doo baseball jersey, and on the back it says, a little vein there, but my name, and it's got the 69. It was the year I was.
66.
Wait a minute. No, it's 66. That's the year. That's my wife's birthday. See, I get it all mixed up. I don't, when you get old, Johnny, you forget really who you are. What's your name again?
Tommy. No, Dave. There's so much to talk about. And, I've learned that when we're interviewing people on radio, especially legends, they just love sharing stories. You know.
Well, then you're going to be in for a real dull meeting.
I doubt that very seriously, because I've got stories from hanging around with you myself, and I know that you've hung around with just so many people. In fact, just in the last few days, you were with Joel Sonnier and Nelson Blanchard from LaRue, working on a very special project.
Well, we're excited about this because, Joe Burrow is our favorite adopted son over here in big state of Louisiana, and he's headed to the you can't say the S word, so you have to say the big game. And, so what a great accomplishment to have won the national title, the Heisman, and now possibly, to win the Super Bowl. So, that would be cool. So we thought I would go in. I just went in the other day. I wrote the entire song on a napkin at walk-ons on Sunday after he won and they beat Kansas City. And so I went over to Nelson, who is just, amazing. He's just, I can't say enough good things about Nelson Blanchard LaRue. And we got Joel Sonnier, Treva Henderson, got a bunch of people in and did this song, which is going to debut. Actually, the song is kind of already debuted, but the video is really what's going to sell this song. And William Gill Films is putting this together, and we're going to debut it this afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Time. And people can get that at Scott Ennis Radio Show. They can get it at Cajun Country Jam. They can get it at Classic Hits 103.3 on all of our social media platforms. And then, of course, radio stations, once it gets out, they're going to start embedding it and playing it on their own sites. So, but those are some places that you can get it right at 4:00 today. So it's going to be really cool. We're proud of it. It's about 2 minutes, but it's pure rock and roll bliss. It has a really good Johnny B. Good feel to it. And which you like because your name's Johnny.
That's right.
And, so we're proud of that. That's just another little thing that, is what it's free. It's, there's no money being made on the song. So we just want to root for our own Joe Burrow and hope that he kicks some butt in the Super Bowl.
Well, so the video premieres today at 4. And,
right.
And tell everybody once again how they can watch that.
Well, you can get that at the Scott Ennis Radio Show.
Okay.
And I think Johnny's putting it up on the screen there. And then you can get this at Cajun Country Jam on Facebook. And you can also get it at Classic Hits 103.3 on Facebook. And those are 3 definite spots. And I would check The Advocate. The Advocate has been really good to us. They've been out filming this whole thing. They've posted all of our videos. They came out and filmed, did a big story. We're in the front page today. So they're going to put it up on all of their social media platforms too. So you can download The Advocate and get that newspaper down. They'll have that up on their site as well. And like I said, people, once it gets out, I'd say within 24 to 48 hours, it'll be everywhere and people will be sharing it all over Facebook. And you'll probably run into it on your friends' Facebook sites. But, it's just us having fun, paying tribute to Burrow, who is this will be the first time this has ever been done. If he wins he won the Heisman, he won the national championship. If he goes on to win the Super Bowl, it'll be the first time it's ever been done in the history of history. It's never been done like that. And it's come close, but never a third time, with that many awards like that. So let's just root him some. And so we did a song. And, we ought to do, Johnny, is play the song. Do you have the song? We sent it to you.
You know what? I do have it. I was just going to say that I have a treat for our listeners out there.
Come on, Louisiana, you can't wait. We all got something to celebrate. We headed to LA for the big show. We're rooting for Joe because he bleeds purple and gold. Ohio, Louisiana, it's all on the line. The spotlight's shining on number 9.
Yeah, it's a tailgate party and it's all going down.
So call up your friends and gather around.
Get the jambalaya cooking, call the coach Joe.
Our boys about to star in a primetime show.
So polish the Heisman, let's do this thing.
It's time we bring home a Super Burrow ring.
c'est le cochon de lait. Going deep to Jamar, laissez les bâtons rouler. We got the food and smoke and with some Creole spice. We got the gumbo on the fire, got the beer on ice. Cincinnati's ready to put up a fight, but it all started at the Valley on a Saturday night. It's a tailgate party and it's all going down. So call up your friends and gather around. Get the jambalaya cooking, call the Pocho. Our bar's about to star in a primetime show. So pause the Heisman and let's do this thing. It's time we bring home a Super Bowl ring. Like the Tigers roaring, it's a bingo thing. It's time we brought home that Super Bowl ring.
Man, that rocks. I love that. And it does have that Johnny B. Good sound.
Man, it's got that whole that yes. It's a way down in Louisiana where it's kind of got that feel to it, you know. So but I think it's going to do good. I hope Burrow hears it, and I hope everybody plays it. It's for the people, by the people, and for the fans. It's all free. So there you go.
Well, I'm sure Burroughs is going to hear it, and we're going to put it in regular rotation. Now, so you wrote this song and performed it, but you've been writing songs for a long time.
Dude, I've been writing songs since I was a kid. I mean, you know, I love writing songs and, you know, and just being stupid. Pardon me, I get stuff in all the time. I'm on eBay late at night buying Scooby Doo's products, and I just got these in. So I'm kind of excited about. I'm doing this live on your show, but I don't know why they sent me two of these. But these are those new fig pen things that came in, you know, that are out there. So I bought these because I actually have the Shaggy and the Freddy, but I didn't have Scooby, and I don't have Velma or Daphne. So. But it's so funny. I don't know if you do this, Johnny, but I buy a lot of stuff, you know, Scooby collectibles. And then, you know, some of this stuff takes a couple of days, a week to come in, and you forget what you've ordered. So it's like Christmas. So I came up with a great idea for people. I'm going to share this with you. What you do is all year long that you get on eBay or on the internet and you buy stuff. And what you do is they'll send it like this. It comes in a box. It doesn't really say what it is. You don't know what it is. And what you do is you wrap it and you put it to me, right? And you just put it in a store it in wherever. And then, like for me, for you know, and even for my wife, because she buys like tons, like, you know, the truck comes like 7 times a day. So at the end of Christmas time, you would have all of these presents that you have no clue what you have bought. Trust me, because I forget already where this came from, and I just did it 2 nights ago. I don't even know what it is.
Wow.
And so therefore, it would truly be Christmas morning, don't you think? I mean, and then this is really good if you're getting up in age, because then you can actually buy your own gifts, and then you don't remember what they are.
That's funny. Now, for you folks listening on radio, you can't see what Scott's showing, but I'm going to post the video of this interview on the Johnny Rock and Roll Radio YouTube channel. So I'll post a link for that. But go ahead, Scott.
Right. No, I'm gonna show this. Am I on? So, are we on video or just audio? Both. Good. All right, so here we go, Johnny.
You'd like to call Moby?
No.
Okay, I won't. Who would you like to call?
Nobody. And Siri, did you?
Find that contact.
Is that Siri?
Yeah, did you hear that?
Yeah, she just left my house. I sent her to yours.
I don't know why she thought I wanted to call Mo Bandy. She said, "Would you like to call Mo Bandy?" No. I mean, well, yeah, but not right now. It's hilarious.
Let's see here. Thanks for your purchase. Enjoy. Hell, I don't even know what I've bought. Oh my gosh. Check this out, Johnny. All right. So this is a 1973 Scooby Doo lunchbox, collector's lunchbox.
Wow.
Now I've got the tin one, It's in my case over there. But this came out the year after the 10 ones. 10 ones started going out in like about 72, 73. But this one right here, then they went to the plastic, right? Because it was so much easier and cheaper to make and more profit. But this is kind of the same lunchbox. They just went to plastic. That's 1973. So, and then I'll tell you this: I'm always looking for Scooby product, no matter where I go. And I found these today in Walgreens. They got kid sizes and adult sizes, but you got the masks for the whole, Corona thing or whatever.
I was driving through San Antonio, Texas, and I saw a shop that had a Scooby Doo pinata.
Right.
Outside. And I thought to myself, wow, I need to turn around and go back and get that. And then I thought, I just couldn't imagine somebody beating Scooby with a stick to get candy. But if it put out Scooby snacks, that might be a different story. So
right.
I get mail all the time like that too, where I don't know what it's gonna be. In fact, Memorial Hermann Hospital. Never mind. Speaking of Scooby, you've I was looking at the list of voices that you've done. Before we go down the list, tell us how you first, got the job of doing the voice of Scooby.
Well, first of all, I've done it all my life. I've been a kid. I've been a fan. So, I was a small kid living in Columbia, Missouri, growing up on an old beat up farmhouse, black and white TV, 3 channels, Saturday morning cartoons. Everybody, your people talk all the time. If they could go back to a place in time in their lives, I would go back to Columbia, Missouri, bowl of Captain Crunch cereal, sitting Indian style in my underoos. I was Batman and Robin underoos, and a Scooby Doo old T-shirt that I used to have, and I would watch Scooby Doo, Goober and the Ghost Chasers, all the Looney Tunes, and so that's where I fell in love with Scooby Doo. And then at nights I would recreate the scenes in my head to make me fall asleep. So, and then all these years later, I would get into radio, and I was always the class clown, having to go to the principal's office, and I was always mimicking these cartoon characters. And, over the years it paid off because I perfected. And then I got into radio in like 1982, and I started running American Top 40 with Casey Kasem. That was my first job. And I remember the radio personality, Skip Spence, Skipper T, told me, talk, and he goes, no, not unless you can do a great Casey Kasem impression. I don't want to hear you on the radio. And I went, oh, challenge. Ding, 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 ding. So he was driving down the road, and he tells the story funnier than I do, but he goes, I'm listening to the radio, and we're the top of the hour where we're switching the albums. This is back when we played albums. And it was going, do, 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 do. I just opened up the microphone and said, you're listening to American Top 40 on Poplar Bluffs, 13 a.m. KLID. Now on with the countdown. American Top 40. And he said he liked to drove off the side of the road. So that's how I perfected that. And I found out, that Casey Kasem had done Shaggy's voice. And so I started perfecting that. And my first song that I ever wrote my whole life was called I Want to Be a Flintstone. And I sent it to Hanna-Barbera, and I got this wonderful, wonderful letter. I still have it in my book about, we love your song and we want to record it. And for about a week, I was on a high until they sent me another letter telling me, yeah, we've thought about it. We're not going to do it. So that was heartbreak, Yep, there it is. The book right there. It's in the book. I'm actually working on another book that I've been married 9 times since that book came out. No, I'm joking. But there's so many things that have changed in my life since that book came out. And I've got to, I'm actually going to do it in an erase board deal this time, so that I can just erase it as we go. And I'm just, But we're gonna do a magazine version of it. Like I have a magazine called Hug Magazine, and I love the high gloss and the print. It's a lot cheaper to do, and people can fold them up, put it in their pocket, take it with them wherever they go, and read it on airplanes or whatever, instead of having to tote a book around. And I just think we're getting into that time in our lives and into the world where we have to make things simplicity. And if someone was to say, I got the Scott Innes book or the Scott Innes book in magazine, which would you rather? I'd say, give me the magazine. So that's what we're going to be working on this later this year. I'm working on that. But so, yeah, that's how I really perfected these voices. And then, of course, being in radio helps because, you do these crazy voices on commercials. And then I found myself in Des Moines, Iowa, back in early 1989. And I was working for KIOA, one of the big radio stations up there, big old 100,000 watt station. And I was the production director. And Subway had come out with a new sub called Double the Meats. And I thought it would be cool to go in and write a parody off of Hollywood Squares and have the lady go, I'd like to take Casey Kasem in the center square. All right, Casey, does super subs have double the meat? Well, after tasting a super sub for myself, I'd have to say yes. Ding, 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 ding. X gets the square. Well, I get this call. One day I'm in my office, phone rings. Yep, Scott. Hi, Scott. Casey Kasem. I'm like, get out of town. He's like, I just wanted to call. I understand that you're running a radio promotion for a Subway place, and you're using a parody of the Hollywood Squares, which I got to tell you, I thought was kind of cute. But I got to tell you, buddy, you do a great me. And I am a vegetarian, and everybody up there knows it because Iowa's a big cattle deal, and we're very active in that market. And they actually think that I'm promoting eating double the meats, and I'm a vegetarian. Do you have a problem? I'm like, yes, sir, Mr. Kasem, I absolutely. He goes, have you ever thought about becoming a vegetarian? And he spent 2 hours trying to convert me into becoming a vegetarian. Sent me a book, the whole deal. And so I went into my boss. I removed the spot. I went into my boss and I said, I'm pulling the spot. He goes, no, you're not. That's probably the station across the street playing a joke on you. And I said, nope, it's Casey Kasem. And he goes, well, he says, I said, he gave me his number. And he says, well, I know they're playing a trick on you. And if Casey Kasem doesn't answer this call, I'm going to fire you. And I was like, oh God, I hope the hell he answers. So we're sitting there and it's about on its sixth ring. And all of a sudden I hear, hello. And he goes, Mr. Kasem, speaking. This is Kipper McGee from KIOA, the good guys in Des Moines, Iowa. I just want to let you know we're removing that spot, sir. And he goes, well, thanks, Kipper. You're a scholar and a gentleman. I was talking to Scott earlier, So I'm like going, whoo, thank you, Casey. So actually, technically, Casey Kasem saved my job. And through the years, I interviewed Casey a few times, but never got the chance to meet him. He sent me a ton of pictures and things like that. Great guy. I was more friends with Don Messick. Don was a dear friend of mine. And so all these years later, man, so really radio led me to all of these icons, Mel Blanc, Dawes Butler, you name it, June Foray, who was Rocky the Flying Squirrel, and so many others. And so that's kind of how I got really into this whole doing the crazy voices and stuff, was radio, which I have a passion for. I love radio, and it's been good to me. And but yeah, that's really where the opening door. But Saturday morning cartoons really is the door that opened my career for my career.
That's an amazing story right there. And I do remember it, Saturday mornings, getting up, having a bowl of cereal. Now, I grew up in a hand-me-down family, so my sister would get a bowl of Cocoa Puffs, and then I'd end up with a bowl of warm chocolate milk. But yeah. So you've done so many voices. I have a challenge for you, and I'm sure you've probably done this before. But yeah, let's see how many voices you could do all in one string.
Oh my God!
I know what you're looking for. you're looking for that photo of you and all the characters, aren't you?
Yeah. I got it right here. See it back here. Let's see here.
Now, for you folks in radio, that's in living color.
Yes. Okay, so here goes. I was looking to see if I had a smaller version of it, but I don't. But I'm gonna. You'll see me kind of like this doing this. Let's see here. We'll cook up. Like, hey everybody, Scooby Doo and Shaggy here. Yeah, Scooby Dooby Doo, puppy power. Scrappy-Doo. Let me at him, Uncle Scoob. Let me at him. Ooh, hey, this is Papa Smurf, and I'm small. I'm blue. Careful, guys. No blue humor. I said, pay attention, boy. I said, you see that little house over there that says D-O-G? I said, that spells chicken. Go get them, boy. Yabba dabba doo. This is Fred Flintstone, Mr. Barney Rubble. All right, Fred. Tonight, you and me and Betty and Bam Bam are gonna go bowling. Hey. This is Yogi Bear, and I live in Jellystone, and I like to steal a picnic of baskets with my pal Boo Boo. Now listen, Yogi, don't go dragging me into this. You know that I don't like stealing picnic baskets. I hang out with Cindy Bear back in the cave. Hey, you're gonna go to jail. Okay, Yogi. This is Mr. Ranger. Oh, yeah, Mr. Ranger. And that spells danger. And I'm out of here. Heavens to Murgatroyd. This is Snagglepuss. What's going on? I'll tell you. Stage exit. Left says Ricochet. Ricochet Rabbit at your service. Ricochet. Bing. Rabbit. And, well, this here is a quick draw. The fastest gun in the West. And this here's my sidekick, Baba Louie. Hey, that's right. That's Quick Straw. And you got to be careful because he'll get alcoholed. And let's see what else we got. This is or let's see, Heavens to Murgatroyd. Did I do him? Yeah, this is Snagglepuss. Left stage, whatever. I'm out of here. And then you've got this is Professor Pat Pending, the Wacky Racers, in my converter car. And then you got this is Wally Gator, you know. I love my ever-loving Everglades. I like to get clean instead of dirty, you know. And then, of course, you got right, George. Roll, boy. This is Astro. Stop that, Astro. And this is Elroy Jetson, and I'm only 6 years old. I'll always be 6 years old because I'm a cartoon character. Now, stop that, Astro. You're slobbering. Rory, Retcha, Roy. And then he goes, well, below me down. Let's get that. So that gives you a little sum of the
Bravo.
Of the ones that I have officially done at one time or another. So
that is amazing. Now, can you do Johnny Rock?
Hey, everybody, this is Johnny Rock on the Johnny Rock and Roll Radio Show, and I got to tell you, right now, I'm going to cut this short because Scott is going to be calling me in a minute, and I got to go smoke a cigarette and catch my breath, and the ambulance is waiting for me, so I got to cut all this short because, they're at $400 oxygen. But I got to tell you right now. So anyway.
You nailed it.
I know. The reason I nailed it is because I said the reason I nailed it is because you and I are two peas in a pod. Every time I get into a couple of weeks ago, I was in the emergency room, high blood pressure, and my wife's on Facebook. She goes, I swear you were born you're like twin brothers. And I go, why? And he goes, because he's in the emergency room too. And I said, no kidding, what room? I'll wheel on over.
Yeah, I tell people, I've been meeting a lot of people lately. Most of them are paramedics, but
what's their names? Para what? Paramedic?
That's great. So again, there's so much to talk about. One of my favorite things that you do, Scott, is humanitarian work. And I know that because there's a song I want to play that you wrote called Recycling Grace. Tell us about Recycling Grace and what that's all about.
Well, my mother was an addict, and God rest her soul. you know, it's Johnny. You've been down that road too. You know, I lived a lot of my life in hell. I mean, I literally did growing up as a kid. Now I learned to navigate it. Okay. I'm not going to use it as a crutch, but it helped form the person that I think I've become. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I am a piece of, somebody said, describe your life. And I said, take a piece of glass, a glass mirror, throw it up in the air and watch it hit a cement. And I said, and you'll have a million shattered pieces of glass. And I said, that is my life. And not every piece of glass has a sharp edge. Not every piece of glass has a bad reflection. But I have lived that. I have tried to put the glass back together, and I have learned I need to stop doing that and move forward. So my mother was in it, and I learned to navigate it, live with it. I loved her to the end. I was there. I held her hand when she took her last breath. But my Aunt Karen, her sister, a devout Christian, wonderful woman, great family. When my mom passed, they created a with Sandra Mick was an addict as well, and she knew my mother very well. My mother and her spent a lot of time talking, and she says that, you know, if your mother had only had a place to go, a home for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, to get addiction free, to get counseling, to get God, to get a little bit of everything, maybe she wouldn't be in the situation she was, because frankly, all she had was all her drug addict friends, a lazy boy chair, and someone to keep the drugs coming, and a 6-pack of beer at all times. So she didn't have that support. So they created Recycling Grace, and they tried, they started raising money. They didn't know anything about raising money to buy this home. And I came into the picture shortly after my mother died while they were doing fundraising. And I laugh about it because they really weren't doing much fundraising. But I came in with my talents that I think I bring to the deal, and I volunteered and said, well, let's do an event every year, call it the Scott and His Songs and Stories Gala in my hometown of Poplar Bluff. And we have been so fortunate over the years. We do it at the first Monday of every November. And we've brought in some of the biggest names, man. I mean, last year we had T.G. Shepherd. The year before that, Tanya Tucker. Before that, it was Johnny Lee and Mickey Gilley. And then it was Doug Stone, Richie McDonald of Lone Star, Larry Stewart of Restless Heart. We've had them all, you know, Billy Dean, Andy Griggs, Jamie O'Neill. The list goes on and on. Marty Rowe from Diamond Rio, Marty Rabin from Shenandoah. And they've all donated their times to come do this for me and with the friendships that I've acquired over the years. And we've raised, we're now on our third home. We've built 3 homes, and we've raised, in Poplar Bluff, it's a lot of money, $500,000. In Baton Rouge, we were about $1 million down here. But so we've raised half, 500,000 there, but it's gone a long way. And this year we're trying to get Lee Greenwood, we're waiting to hear back. So that's just one of many things. I've been blessed to have teamed up with some great people and built 2 handicap baseball parks. We've raised over $130,000 for the Drew Brees Foundation, and on the same very night raised $110,000 for the Miracle League. Wow. I wrote the theme to the Miracle League, a baseball park, nationwide. And, so I believe that life is a give back. It's a give and take. And I believe that radio, which has blessed me, should be foremost used to bless other people. We get so caught up in the BS of our own crap, no pun intended, that we lose track of what we can do with what God has given us. And we get so caught up on the hey, everybody was blah, 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 and here's Kiss and blah, 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 blah. And, and when we can sometimes just open up the microphone and go, hey, I got a lady on 5th Street that needs dinner tonight. She's on the side of the road. Somebody ought to go bless her and take her out to dinner and get her some warm clothes. That's all I got to do. Bam. Problem solved. But we get so caught up in going, look at that old lady, that old hag over there. Hey, watch me spit on her, man, when I drive by. We spend so much time in our lives being angry that we forget what it's like to be happy. My wife is probably one of the, and I'm going to be honest with you. I need to practice what I preach, because I have got caught up in the negative of COVID. I call it the COVID negative, because, I have nearly gone bankrupt because of COVID. I produce concerts. I produce events that require lots of people, lots of sponsors. Well, if there are no events, there are no sponsors. If everything's shut down, sponsors aren't going to spend money. And so I was selling things literally out of my house to pay the rent. And it's easy to sit back and feel sorry for yourself and to get angry. But, with the faith of God, and I'm not trying to get too preachy here, because I'm a sinner. I'll sin today, I'll sin tomorrow. And not something I'm proud of, and it's something I'm going to try to work on me. But I've become, I said, COVID has made me an asshole. And I hate that about myself. I'm getting out of it. My wife reminds me every morning when I start doing the negative. Oh, let me guess, you're on a negative post on Facebook. Yeah, how'd you know? I can always tell. She goes, and then I'll make a post and I'll hear her yell from across the room, take it down. I'm like, oh, okay.
I love Cindy.
So I call her the Scott and his Facebook police. But she's right, and she's a good woman, and I don't deserve, that's for damn sure. And it's just she reminds me. So I've got a New Year's resolution. I've been struggling. I am proud of one thing. I have now gone 13 months and 3 days without one political post on my Facebook.
Wow.
And and as much as I, would love to get back on and start it again, you don't win at that. And we're not going to win. We all got what we got. Politics is what it is, and it's not going to change. You and I aren't going to change it. We can gripe about it all day long, but it's never going to change. And so why would we spend that energy? The only way we can try to change it is just keep our mouths shut. If we don't like it, go to the polls and vote another way and pray it comes out your way. But so little things like that. I do love charities. I love helping people. I love giving back. And I think that everybody should, instead of, and I'll say this, I'll end on this note on that. I am still the guy that knows that I'm being taken by the guy at the end of the street, at the end of the corner, who's wearing, he could be wearing high heels, but is wearing the 200 pair of Converse and probably has a Mercedes parked underneath the overpass and is making more money than you and I because he's good at what he does. And I am still going to give that guy a buck every time I come up to it, because I know this sounds tutti frutti, but again, you're talking about a kid who grew up watching Saturday morning cartoons with a bowl of cereal, a little naive. I hope that someday, maybe this sounds corny, but I hope one day when I meet the good Lord and the good Lord's sitting back in his chair and he's staring at me and he goes, you know what I like about you, Ennis? You knew that those guys at the end of the road in the corner were fake. You knew. But you still, just to be on the safe side, gave them $1 every time you went by. And I'd like to be that guy, because I would hope that one day the good Lord would look at me and go, but do you ever remember the guy over by the Walmart that had the little puppy in his hand and you rolled down and you gave him a little extra money because he had the pup and you thought the pup needed food too? Well, that was me.
Wow.
And I just wanted to see if you would do it. So that's why I still give, and I encourage people to give and listen, there's a whole lot of saying for a lot of truth in the saying, walk a mile in my shoes before you talk bad about me, and Johnny, you got your haters. I got my haters, and you know what? I've I've taken what I call the Johnny Rock approach at this. It used to bother me. It really did. And, man, I just pray for them now. You know what I mean?
Amen.
Because that's what they need. That's what they need. Now, I need prayer too. I'm not, like I said, I'm no saint. I'm a shard piece of glass in a mirror. But if we can all try to just pray for one another. I just talked to a guy today. I just mentioned today, I said, Can you imagine a world, even if it was one day of the year, where it's almost like The Purge, the movie The Purge, where like at midnight to the next midnight, it's like, wait, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hey, brother, I love you, man. Let's go out and have a deal. Even your enemy that you hate, you're all hugging, you're loving, you're laughing, you're telling jokes. And here's the thing. Think about this, Johnny. I'm talking over the top. Johnny, I love you, man. You are the best guy, you know, and even somebody you really hate, you're calling up going, dude, you want to hear a funny joke? They're laughing. They're coming over. They're doing a barbecue. Even people who, you know, whatever, wives and husbands that hate each other come together. They're talking about the good times. They're laughing with the kids. They're playing in the yard. Everybody's getting along. Do you know that the next day, if that was to ever happen, people would probably go, God, remember that day? God, I love that day. I wish we could have that day again. Because that's what it is, but we've never been able to have it, to appreciate, to have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those are little things. I know this is off all the Scooby Doo stuff, but this is really the man that I am behind the deal. You know, people, I had somebody run into me a couple of years ago. I was in a casino, I think. and I'm not a bettor. I don't bet. I throw a couple of dollars every once in a while just to have fun and some coins and watch myself lose, and then I walk out. But I had a lady walk up to me and she said, I'm really disappointed in you, Mr. Ennis. I was like, wow, how come? She says, because you're supposed to be Scooby Doo, a representation of a great wholesome cartoon, and you're in here drinking and you're betting. And I said, well, ma'am, first of all, this is water. I don't drink. Second of all, I don't gamble. I happened to be in here because I came to eat at the buffet, which was the truth. My wife and I went up to eat at LeBurge, just the buffet that night. And I said, and I just happened to pass one of the machines and I had a couple of coins in me. And I said, what the heck? I put them in, I lost, I laughed, and I walked out. And I said, so that was the whole case. And she says, really? And I said, yep. And she goes, oh, well, if that's the case, then I'm sorry. And I thought, had I not taken the time to tell that woman that story, she'd have been all over going, you know what I did? I ran into Scott Ennis doing this. And I thought to myself, wow. I'm sitting here, I did the same thing. I do the same thing that she did to me. And I thought, God, I got to stop that, you know? So all I'm saying is we've all got to, man, we all just got to keep our mouths shut. I think all stars should keep their mouths shut in politics. I think singers, we all should just give the people what they want, entertainment. And because I think, and I know we're getting a little preachy here, and I know nobody wants to hear all this, and you can edit all this out, but you know, it scares me because I think we're living in last times. I think some stuff's fixing to happen in this world. And it's coming down, man. It's fixing to hit. They're not building barricades around the White House for nothing. Okay. Right. So there's some stuff, and you know, like, I mean, COVID came out of left field, folks, and look what it did to the economy. And if that ever happened again, this is my personal opinion. If that ever happened to that level again, we'd be done. There's no way we'd be able to come back from that. That's my personal opinion. That's not a fact. So all we can do is get right with God, get right, watch more Scooby Doo, have fun with our kids, and enjoy the times, and live life to the fullest. And because we always have the memories of the Saturday morning cartoons and all these great actors that brought all of these great characters to life. And thank God, you know, I think, Johnny, as we've been sitting here talking, I'm always mustering up ideas. Even when I'm talking to you, I'm thinking in the back of my head about something, you know. And I'm working on some titles for my new book, the magazine, and I'm gonna probably wrap the whole title around. Thank God for Captain Crunch or something like that. You know what I mean? Captain Crunch Saturday morning cartoons, because that's the best, fondest memories of my life. And in fact, when I get done talking to you this morning, I think I'm going to go get me a bowl of Captain Crunch cereal.
Right on. Well, Scott, I want to let you know that we all love Scooby Doo, and I know for a fact that we have thousands of Scooby Doo fans listening right now. But this show this morning is not about Scooby Doo; it's about Scott Inez.
So, still in there. To answer your question about Recycling Grace, I wrote this song. My Aunt Karen said, you know, you write songs. You've never written a song for Recycling Grace yet. And I told her, I said, well, it has to come from the heart. And I haven't mastered it yet. It'll come to me. And one day, Nelson Blanchard, my buddy, writing partner of LaRue, was sitting there playing around on the keyboard. And I said, keep that going. Just keep that rhythm going. When you look into your soul, is it empty, dark, and cold? Is your faith come to pass? Is your world a broken glass? So I started writing that song, and I wrote that in about 10 minutes and went in to sing it. And a few months later, I ran into John Schneider and of Dukes of Hazzard fame, Bo Duke, and he was working on a Christian album. He said, man, I need a good Christian song. He goes, heck, I haven't even got the title of the album yet. I said, well, I wrote a song called Recycling Grace. I played it for him right there in his living room, and he went, man, not only am I going to cut that song, I'm going to name the album Recycling Grace. And that's what he did. And anyway, so here's, I guess you're going to play my version of the song on the deal. Or is that, okay. This is my version of the song, ladies and gentlemen. I hope if you've lived it, you'll understand this song. This is called Recycling Grace.
When you look into your soul, is it empty, dark, and cold? Has your faith come to pass? Has your world become a broken glass? When your wounds and scars appear, and you're drowning in falling tears, and just look up through your despair. We got your back, and we'll be there. So when your knees hit the ground and salvation can't be found, reach out your hand, we'll pull you through. Just let the love and light of God shine down on you. The love will lead the way to this special place, Recycling Grace. When you travel the road to nowhere, and you know nothing's gonna be there, so take a turn on a better road and let God carry your load. 'Cause when your knees hit the ground and salvation can't be found, reach out your hands, we'll pull you through. Just let the love
Man, what a beautiful song. And, listening to that reminded me of when, right before COVID hit, I was hosting the Christmas party at Children's Hospital, and I called on you to come make an appearance, and you didn't blink an eye. You showed up, and I want to thank you for that. And
I mean, it was. I mean, you did have $500 on it, and I appreciate that. That was good.
Yeah, everybody knows.
No, but it would have helped. It would have helped if you had given me the address first, though. That was a bit. And you might want to keep your phone on next time when I'm trying to call you for the address. But yeah, true story. I went to 3 hospitals in New Orleans. Johnny gives me the invite. He just forgot to tell me which hospital, what time, and where. So I didn't want that to be down. I just started going to different hospitals, and the second hospital I went to, they go, "Oh, that's that they do that every year." Yeah. So I called up the hospital and I said, "I'm looking for a Johnny Rock. He does that." "Oh yeah, they're up there doing that." So that's how I found you. And then of course, thanks for the parking pass. Not. But anyway, you gotta love Johnny. And then I think I showed up and you were dressed up as a green bean. What were you dressed up as?
I was a Christmas tree.
Oh, that's what it was. You look like a green bean.
Yeah, it was a little bit. And then so from that meeting, we collaborated, and now we're gonna go into acting. You've got some movies going out. In fact, you got a movie coming out this fall.
We got a big one coming out this fall. Johnny and I got one that we're working on. We're trying to get it edited and everything, called Going Fishing. We'll eventually get that at some point. And that was a blessing to work with. And I'll be honest with you, even if the movie never comes out, I mean, you never know in Hollywood. But we had fun making it. We got pictures to prove it. So that was great. But I got a movie that I just got done doing with Laura Duvall and some great people that donated their time and worked their ass off. We shot it in St. Francisville pretty much all through November and half of December. It's called Bad Habit. And I sat down and wrote this, pretty much the movie with Anna Watt. And we wrote this off of some of her happenings as a child in an orphanage with nuns and whatnot, and her troubled past as a kid. And we collaborated, and then we got with Laura Duvall and some other folks, and we pinned this movie. And then we filmed it up there in beautiful St. Francisville, and just some great actors came in. We're really excited about it. I just saw some footage on it today. I'm really excited about it. We're editing feverishly on it. We'll be, a picture lock here in a couple of months. Then we'll start fixing the audio and the color and then add in the score. And hopefully we're going to have this thing ready to go for like October for Halloween this year. And it's kind of a murder mystery, and can't give away too much of it. The plot, it's really easy, but it's exciting. I think I got let me see here. This is one of our, well, hang on a second. Hold on.
Oh, that's scary. Is that Anna?
Yes.
Yeah. I love Anna.
Isn't that good?
I love Laura. Now, folks, Bad Habit has a Facebook page. So be sure to go to Facebook, look up Bad Habit, give it a like, and follow it for updates. And let's see what else. I did want to mention that and congratulate you. You celebrated 25 years in radio.
25 years in radio. And well, I'll be honest with you, it's been longer than that. 25 years I've celebrated in Baton Rouge radio.
Okay.
I got into radio in 1982. So my first radio station was in 1982. I was one of the youngest radio personalities in the country. I was 12 years old.
Wow.
And I started at KLID radio. They paid me under the table because they didn't want any proof other than the fact that I was on the air, And that's where I got my career. So I was in it 12 years before that, so It's been a long time. I've enjoyed every minute of it. You know, I love touching people, lives and making them laugh. And I think laughter is the best medicine in the world. Even through turmoil, if you make somebody laugh, they feel better instantly. And you know, my dad has been going through, I call it the whole COVID burnout, and he's kind of the guy, you know, he's getting ready to turn 80, and he's one of the guys that's living underneath the table. And he's just now starting to kind of come out of his shell a little bit. But I went home recently, and you know, it took me a whole day to get him to laugh. You know, I was trying to get him to laugh, and I see so many, not just my father, but a lot of people are experiencing this. I'm experiencing depression. You know, it's easy to get depressed. And Johnny, you know what I'm talking about. You know, you can find yourself in a depression pit real quick, and we start blaming the world. We start blaming the people that love us the most, and we find ourselves screaming at the people that love us the most. And we just gotta be we got to be better support groups for each other. You know, something I came up with, and I'll share this with you. I mean, you're a radio guy, but you know, I work for Cumulus Radio, great company. I've worked for some great companies, but we were having a meeting the other day, and they asked us to be thinking of things that we could do to better the company. And I got to thinking, you know, charity starts at home. And one thing that I'm going to pitch to my company, and you're the first person I mentioned, I haven't even told them yet, is called the Charity Starts at Home Foundation. Cumulus Radio's Charity Starts at Home First Foundation. And what that is each radio station in each market will be responsible for raising money, however they do it. Doesn't matter. They each have to put in $5,000 a year. And it goes into a big account. And when, let's just say, for example, we have a radio personality whose house burns down or has some hardships due to health or has a car accident and is laid up, and just, you know, they can qualify for this deal. They can ask for, you know, the help. And that way, I'm just using the home burns down, for example, as a deal. Okay. Well, let's be honest. Your house burns down. The insurance company is not there on day one to hand you any money. It's not going to happen that quick. No. You're not going to have any clothes. You're going to be beaten up. You're going to feel total stress. You're not going to know where to turn. You're going to be put out. You're going to be emotionally destroyed. The one thing you don't have that you need is a little cash funds, because you have no place to go. I mean, most people hate to go live with a friend or whatever. You want to get a hotel or a extended stay, whatever. So this charity thing that we start, this foundation, would support our people first to go in on these hardships. I'm using this for example, but my own program director, Jeff Johnson, years ago, when we had the flood here, the great flood, the 100-year flood, I loaned him my Volkswagen. He needed a car. Well, that Volkswagen ended up floating down the river, and even his other cars, and his house was 4 feet underwater. Him and his little family had nowhere to go. And so they would have been given money to go get a hotel so they could get on their feet. And I don't know if you cap it or you top, whatever, but at least there's a foundation set for our own people who need help, right? And case in point, James Gilmore, dear friend of mine, recently died of stage 4 cancer. Yeah, I did everything I could to help him, and we raised him a lot of money, but his bills were astronomical. He was never going to pay those. We were just trying to give him money so he could get the essentials that he actually needed to prolong, to live for what little extra time he could get. And there should have been, like, for example, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back on this or not, but this is just the fact. His family wanted to have a viewing for him here in Baton Rouge because this is where his fan base was. Unfortunately, that's a $5,000 deal. And they didn't have it. And but he deserved that. He deserved that. Indeed. And with that foundation, I went in and got some people together, and we got that money so that he could have a viewing. But with that foundation, see, the foundation would raise up and go, no, we'll pay that $5,000. You can have, we're going to do a viewing here for it with no burden on the family, So that's what I want to try to. That's going to be something I'm going to tackle this year. I'm going to come up with a really cool name for it and try to get my company to buy into it and say that I think it's something that we should. We're great at doing charities and helping other people out, and we got to continue to do that. But I think charity starts at home,
Amen.
And we got to take care of the ones that are taking care of us. So,
right on. Well, I'll be happy to help in any way I can. And I want to thank you so much, Scott, for being on my show. Now, this is one thing that I always ask my guests, and it's one of my favorite parts, is I'd love for you to share with the audience your all-time favorite, best memory of working in the entertainment industry. I mean, just one, a memory, maybe one you haven't even told before, but just something that really stands out.
Well, let me give you a couple. Let me give you a couple of what I call serendipity moments in my life. Okay, because I've got a few that they're in my book, and I've been blessed. I pinch myself every day. I can't believe some of the things that I've been blessed to do. There it is. All right, I'll go down a few of them. As a kid, I dreamed of becoming Scooby. I had 3 goals in my life fun because at a young age, I dreamed of being the guy that did the voice of Scooby Doo. Not only did I achieve that, but I became the voice of Shaggy and Scrappy-Doo. So I achieved that. I also dreamed of winning a CMA Award on the country music from the Country Music Association. I used to watch it as a kid. My dad would go, boy, look at them nice awards. And I used to tell him, I'm going to win one of those awards. And in 1997, the year Scooby Doo on Zombie Island came out, the next night I was on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry getting the CMA Air Personality of the Year. And I held that trophy in my hand and took that home. In 2002, my favorite artist of all time is Kenny Rogers. I always wanted to write a song for Kenny Rogers. I used to tell my dad, one of these days, Kenny Rogers is going to sing one of my songs. Kenny Rogers' last charting hit single ever in 2002 was Handprints on the Wall. We took it to number 38, and Kenny Rogers recorded my song. So those are some serendipity moments. And I use that to teach kids. You could be anything you want to be. You just have to set your mind to it. Well, dreams are nothing more than reality waiting to happen. I pitched a song one day at Conway Twitty, and within 3 hours later, he was dead. I had coffee and lunch with Conway Twitty the day he died. I've had there's just so many serendipity moments. I mean, my life is full of, you got to be kidding me. When I went to Nashville to get the CMA Award, I was on radio. And the running joke was, wouldn't it be funny if we went to Nashville and the only person we met in Nashville was Billy Ray Cyrus? So it was a running bit for 2 weeks on my radio show. I even did a Billy Ray Cyrus impression. Hey, man, Scott, man, if you get up there, look me up, man. So we were poking fun at Billy. Billy's a great guy to poke fun at. I'm great friends with Billy. And so anyway, we fly to Nashville, literally, for the CMA Awards, get off the airplane, into a cab, get to the airport, walk out of the hotel to his bus is Billy Ray Cyrus. First person. And I'm like, you can't make this stuff up. We became friends with Billy. I ended up playing a big role and got him the part of singing the Scooby-Doo theme song and Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, probably the best version ever done of the song. I've just been there. It's like where lightning strikes. I've been blessed, but standing on the stage, getting those awards, the Marconi Awards, all those things that I dreamed as a kid to win has all come true. But I have to tell you, one of the biggest moments in my life, it still is to this day, is when people stop you and thank you for taking the extra moment to bless them, whether it be a Scooby-Doo call, wherever it is. I always stop and make time for kids that are passing away or are fighting cancer, whatever the case may be. Because there may not be a tomorrow for these people. So I always try to take that time. The good Lord gave me the time to do it, and I always try to do it. So when someone says, what are the best moments of your life? Every time I'm able to jump into the paws of this character and bring this character to life, to bless somebody, is always the greatest moment in my life. And with that, like I tell you, Johnny Rock, thanks for having us on your little show. And right, Scoob? Oh, yeah, Johnny Rock. Roll boy, Scooby Dooby Doo.
We'll do a really special song for you. I have to tell you that, in case you don't know this, my life is about to change forever. In July of this year, we found out that my wife was having a baby. That was pretty exciting until we went to the doctor and found out it's twins. The only thing that made that palatable, The only thing that made the twins palatable is that when I saw the little thing, I actually thought there were 3 hearts. So when he said it was twins, I was excited. But it's amazing how something like this can change your life and how a song takes on a different characteristic when it's about you. A lot of times you sing a song about someone else's experience or someone else's relationship. And in this case, there's a local guy here that you guys may know named Scott Ennis. And he's a PD, or he's a radio personality. They don't like to be called disc jockeys anymore. Radio personality. But great guy, good friend of ours, and he's always been really good to me at radio. And he wrote this song, and he called me and asked me if I would record it. And I said, Scott, let me tell you my rule. You're a friend. I will listen to it as a friend. I will not record it as a friend. If it's not any good, I'm not going to record it. And he said, that's fair enough. So he sent me this song. And it turns out, I don't know how long ago, maybe 3 years ago, he had a child, a baby named Presley. And it was the experience that he went through being in that delivery room that he says honestly changed his life. So he wanted to share that experience in some way. So he wrote this song, and especially now that I'm having these new kids, oh God. I wanted you to share my enthusiasm. The song is just wonderful. It's called Handprints on the Wall. Days go by catch you when you fall. And I don't mind if you leave behind a few handprints on the wall. So don't be afraid to take that step. I'll catch you when you fall. And I don't mind if you leave behind a few handprints on the wall. Innocent Presley. With twins, there's going to be footprints on the ceiling.